organism, you can't call it greatest.
That's not entirely true.
It is, and I want to hear that. But when you think about it, okay, you can't compare somebody from our generation to the generation prior to like the Sugar Hills. If you put an MC like Eminem up against the Sugar Hill Gang, lyrically he would murder them. If Jay-Z would lyrically murder them, but that doesn't take away from their relevance. So you know what I mean. At that time, they had greatest. Oh man, Schoolie D was the greatest. Oh man, so and so was the greatest. They had that same discussion. Now they are those at that level, and now the youngest are having that discussion. But to the people who are relevant out in the game now, they came up on J. Cole, they came up on Wayne, they came up on Drake. So to them, those are their greatest because they were hot when they were relevant at their times coming up. So we can't make them say, oh, Pac is the greatest or Biggie is the greatest. They can appreciate them for their song quality, but to them who run the scene, it's really what they say. Because we don't have any relevance. We're just spectators, really. We just watching on the sideline playing.
I mean, I wasn't saying that you can tell somebody who the greatest is. I was just saying I think it's a cultural thing and a respect thing. And if you look at it, even the rappers you just named, listen to their music. All of them mention the forefathers of rap. So they get it, and it should be passed on, is all I'm saying.
Though. Some of them was talking that same stuff. Them old ass niggas and this, that, and the other.
A lot of them always talking about shout out to this old pimp. Shout out to where it all started. Right. Everybody wants to go back to Brooklyn. Everybody wants to talk back to, if right now, somebody like, and as old as he is, I don't even know that I'd recognize him. But right now, if somebody like KRS-One did an interview, people are going to watch. Just because you're intrigued, even of this generation, where did it start? How did we get here? Because, see, we don't get here unless it was someone great enough to open that door. Because at once upon a time, it wasn't no platform for no black rappers.
What could it be? So
actors.
Let's look at it, because maybe we shouldn't generalize it, because we all have kids.
Yeah. Now,
and all of our kids appreciate that music because we built that appreciation.
I can't make you say Biggie is the greatest. However, I can teach you and I can show you that he was one of the greats. So no matter where you put him at in your life, whether you like him so much you want him up here, whether you know he's great and you just put him wherever you do in the pile.
Well,
it's just the thing of
what do y'all think about this then? Because I think amongst our kids, we build that respect in there. Because we have a reverence for them. And we participate and share hip hop with them. Okay? I know me and Lil Drip, we have the same Apple account. So I go in there and I see what Lil, not that I'm spying on her, but, and we can talk about spying on your kids. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, you is.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. Ain't nothing wrong with spying.
Nothing wrong.
Because you ain't bringing, as long as you spy, that you won't have to feed and clothe it.
Yeah.
So, we're going to talk about that later, y'all. But we built that appreciation there. We shared it, that experience with them. But the people that are on the radio or are being put out there aren't showing that respect for it. So when you think about that, not that there's this grand conspiracy, but the same record labels, most of them, Priority, Interscope, all these people who were with these greats and pushing them greats are pushing music that's not only not giving them reverence, but disrespecting them in a lot of ways. So is it really the youngins, or is that an agenda? You feel what I'm saying? Because it's the ones that have the voice are the ones that are saying these things. You know.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing.
This is my opinion, y'all.
If you a rapper, you can rap. You don't need to smack a broad. You don't need to call nobody a bitch or a hoe. There's plenty words you can substitute. You do what makes money and what sells. You do what creates controversy.
Business.
You'll say whatever gets the party going.
Whatever will scare.
For the 10 that don't like it, there's 100 that do. Do the math.
And 200 would like it because the 10 don't like it.
It's not that. It's one of them things where the way the math game goes, we know that even in the urban areas, if we give them music they like, they're going to buy it.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying? So we'll back you. We'll give you all the gold chains. We'll give you this amount of money. We want you to just, showcase your people however you want to do it. But yeah, I've seen videos where dudes don't look no older than 17. It's strip club.
But at 17, I'd definitely, if you gave me the opportunity.
Oh, and don't get me
and
wrong,
actually, at 17, I was in the strip club.
Who wouldn't have jumped at it? But you remember back in the day, they had videos where they was in school. De La Soul, Busta Rhymes, and PTA. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know. I don't want to say NWA. They might have.
No, you had that conscious movement. You know what I mean? It's the native tongue.
And don't get me wrong, there were women in the videos.
Yeah, but they were in cross colors, and they had glasses on.
And then was the same women that was like, let me put the champion outfit together so that they didn't look fly. You need.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. So I think to Kelly Green's point, it makes sense because almost like they're, and in a way, I guess it's a passing the torch kind of thing, because no art form has survived as long consistently like hip hop. Rock and roll has had its ups and downs. Pop came in, took, at R&B. Even R&B fell off from time to time, but hip hop has been consistent.
Yeah.
And I don't see an end in sight.
Well, I would just suggest people, look, I can't make you say who the greatest is, but do your research. Because black people love to make excuses. And that could be the same said for, there's a lot of kids that don't learn the real history.
Of
so
course,
you only get what you're getting in each generation. It gets worse. Whereas though, if you really knew what your folks went through to get you this little piece of an opportunity, you might straighten up. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Any company you go to that's owned by, a white tycoon, a businessman.
White.
There's a picture of his grandfather's grandfather. That's respect through generations. Grandfather that started it was the greatest. And then he was the greatest. And then he was the greatest. So there's no particular one greatest. There were a lot of greats.
Yeah.
So for the son that's going to take care of the company,
he's going to be the greatest.
He better be able to know all of them.
But let me ask you this, though. That's a different thing. And I like that analogy.
And that's what I was saying.
But I like that analogy. But think about this. When they're giving reverence to those prior generations, that means those generations actually stepped away from the game, so to speak. I think this is a big part of it because they were no longer threats to them or they were no longer in direct competition with them. So I can give you this reverence. Hip hop is a contact sport. It's based on battling, on the street, who got the best rhymes, who got the best pop locking moves, who got the best graffiti. It's a contact sport. So that's the heart of it. The competition, who's flyer, who got more girls, who got a better car, it keeps going, who could be more braggadocious. So we can't expect, because like Nas is still dropping albums, Big Daddy Kane is still, all of these guys still dropping albums, they're still trying to be hot, they're still trying to get that one hit.
They're trying to be hot. They're trying to feed their family.
Yeah, but hot is what's going to feed your family. So in so facto, you're trying to be hot because the hotter the song, the more money and residuals you get, the more you can tour, the more you can feed your family. That's just the business. The business of it. It's got to be relevant. You said it yourself. It's got to be cool for people to go buy it.
Yeah, now things have changed to where you can sit in your drawers, go to college, then get behind a mic, cut a record, and sell everything online. You don't have to do a mother flicking thing.
Yeah, you got to get out the house, though. You got to understand what's cool at least. You got to understand what's cool at least, because you're going to have
that's really getting that many sales online. I'm talking about that streaming service. That's what I'm talking about. There are really people that are making more money off their songs being streamed than you would like. I can't think of how many Drake or it was Jay-Z, one of them. I mean, record numbers, like just off that, you can, man, fuck, I'm not doing no shows. I did that. They can't even see me and they bought my shit.
Right.
That's off. And for me, a humble person, dude, put me in the range of $5-10 million. Oh man, cut it out. I'm good for me.
$5-10, I go rock the mic.
Man, I'm
But Kelly Green, is that what you were talking about, or have we gone off subject again?
No. I was talking about
Ding yourself. Thank you. Thank you kindly.
Generations have their own greatest
Absolutely.
in their time. You know.
I'm scared at the greatest of this generation. Like 20 years from now, who they gonna be like, man, Lil Yachty, man. One young NBA young boy, son.
Well, I don't know.
YMB Melly, dog.
I guess depending on how the generations go, like what age group would you say? Like for you know what I'm saying? As far as judging right now in this generation, what age group would you say? Because depending on which age group is profiled in this generation, you have to figure how far do they go back. Like was somebody like Snoop and Timberland still relevant right before, you know what I'm saying?
I think what's hot
like
is
if you're
relevant
25
to them.
and you could be someone who they ask, who do you think is the greatest? You could also go back 10 years to when you was 15, maybe when Dipset.
Yeah.
So it's
That's what we say.
I'm trying to figure out what
I'm
age
about.
range so I can kind of see.
The
Well, the
millennials.
youngins, yeah, the millennials and beyond, them youngins are like, you know, the 16-year-olds and the 14-year-olds and the
But see, at the
18-year-olds.
same time,
They
I
go
used
back
to
10
listen to
years.
Dipset. So that's why I'm trying to figure out, because I'm not part of this millennial
But to
thing.
them, so
No, you're not. You're Generation X.
That's what
Right.
that is. What,
yeah, Gen X,
tell
we
me
right
what-
there.
Gen X.
What's that year? What is that?
That's 1964 to 2000.
It really is in 64 to 2000?
Absolutely.
Oh, my God.
It's
Shit, I'm all right.
No.
not?
No.
Think
What is it? Okay.
facts.
All right.
It's not.
Frankie facts.
Let's. But the great thing is we have a tool called the internet. So let's see. Gen X years.
You're a Gen Xer.
I understand that.
No. I was talking to Pete.
Yeah, she said I'm a Generation X guy.
You are.
Okay.
You're over
So
40?
Gen X were
Yeah.
Let me see.
Man,
Okay,
she
sorry.
said that
You're
Oh,
absolutely right.
no, I'm right.
Gen X is from 64 to 79. And then the Gen Y or millennials were born from 80 to 94. So Generation Z is from 95 to 2015.
Yes.
How they keep giving us numbers and letters?
Because we're slaves. Slaves.
Yeah, but
Slaves to the rhythm. Oh, God.
But you see what I'm saying? So
Boy with your big face.
it's just, I think it's a beautiful thing.
High
But
back.
we loved the 90s. You know,
That's
that
what I said.
music was just beautiful.
But
And we got our own stations now. That's how we know that
we
we're
old
getting,
as shit.
we got our
The
own
old stations are playing our shit.
Yes.
102.3, 96.3.
WHU.
Yes, sir. Magic. 102.3.
And you
What is
just
it?
listen and
So
love it.
this is an oldie. We're going to play next. Butter Love. Our 30-year wonders. Let's listen to Drew Hill. What?
Yes. Yes. That's how long ago that was.
They are unsung.
They're
What?
unsung.
I remember buying the CD
Yeah.
from Kemp Mill Records.
Yeah, Sam's.
No.
Sam Goody.
And what was the other one? There was one more.
You didn't buy the CD though, really?
I bought the CD.
I bought the
I had the CD and the promotional CD
I like
in
that
my
music.
bed.
Yeah.
I like the music though.
What, Drew Hill?
Yeah.
Drew Hill was hot, man. Drew Hill was bad. Drew Hill came out.
Did you try to
Loved
do
it.
the dance move?
Yes.
I was doing it, tell me,
Yeah,
because your boy.
What you want?
But the Vision was out touring himself in those days. So yes,
Okay, all right.
yes.
Okay, I
So the Vision had his own moves.
Yeah.
Shout out to Maestro. Yes.
Take the
Shout
drink.
out.
Music for your mind, body, and
My
soul.
Wait, what
Go ahead,
happened?
Sneaky. That's it. You know, you got to get right.
Absolutely.
You got to get right.
It's only right.
It's only right.
There you go.
Dab or do you?
Pour it. That's what we say.
You know?
Right,
Kelly
right.
Green, but that is an interesting topic when you think about it, because that is generational, and it is what it is. It's all in the eye of the beholder. Someone might think MC Hammer's the greatest, you know, for whatever reason. They might like abs and parachute pants. We don't know. And lines.
Well, I think what it is, like, most of the time when that question get asked, they asking, like, older cats. Like, you know, you'll hear Sway ask maybe Snoop one of the older cats.
And Sway got an AARP card.
I'm speaking from the mind of my generation. Right. That's what it is. And I'm just, I came up in the era of always pay homage, pay respect. Yeah. Now this newer generation, they have more options. We don't have to like him. But we don't have to do this. We can go that way.
The funny part about that, though, is we're like a couple generations back. When you really think about it.
Yes. But you don't have to,
the 30-year-olds.
You don't have to, point that out, really.
I understand I didn't have to.
You know what I'm saying?
While I take a hit of my oxygen machine.
I appreciate it, We just getting old about a minute, ain't we?
Yeah, we are, man.
I think we all just snitching on ourselves.
What you think about them 30-year-olds?
And
next week we'll be dancing at, what's that joint where they used to hand dance over there by Blazeburg?
The Chateau, baby.
Next week we'll be down there hand dancing.
We'll be on public access internet doing the WAP, y'all. What was your favorite old school dance? That's crazy. That's crazy, but
the WAP? Oh my God.
The WAP, exactly. Our dance was an Italian slur, racial slur.
Oh, when they used to say WAP.
The WAP.
The Running Man.
Oh, that was warm, baby.
The Happy Feet.
Happy Feet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Now they got the mop.
The MCM.
They got the mop. They got the Bobby Shmurda. They got the mannequin child. They sit there by themselves.
They do weird things with their hands and
they
feet.
cook it in the kitchen and jump around.
But I'm sure our parents probably were like, what the heck are they doing? Right. And now we're sitting back like,
what you mean, Grandma? I'm whipping.
You see, I really think
I'm whipping. I'm whipping, Grandma.
What you whipping this year? This is whipping this year.
Get out my can.
I just seen Medea Goes to Hell. Come here. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you.
Take your mama out. You ain't cooking shit in here.
Tyler Perry has made more people go to jail for beating their kids than go to church.
Oh, man.
That's the wrong message y'all getting from Medea. Stop listening to her.
Nah, that's the right message. That's my...
Hell no, Medea.
That's my guy.
Medea will have you 7 to 10 felonies. Do not listen to Medea.
Man, Medea is number one.
Use a phone book.
I told you, I came up in the early.
Look here, baby. Look here, man.
Your mother was... Like, man...
Yeah, that wasn't always correct, though,
I don't see no belt.
Now, speaking of children, I brought up something earlier.
What's that, candy?
In rearing your child, no, this is a Halls if you'd like one.
No, is it candy flavored?
No, it's flavored like lemon and honey. Pause. They have a slight sore throat and a sore knee. The vision is a unicycle for the next week to a week and a half. Now, we've been talking about rearing your kids, and people seem to respond to that. Because there's a lot of out of control youngins out here. And you can get that control back easily, really. But it's not always about just being an authoritarian figure. You got to open up with the kids and you got to figure some things out, but you can't handle, you can't have certain things. So my question to you two, Kelly Green, you first because you're the lady, is it okay or do you have a problem with spying on the chillins?
Man, I ain't got no problem.
I don't have no problem.
Man, I want to know what the fuck going on.
Yeah.
Okay. That I'd rather know than not know. Can you imagine being the dummy and you sitting there at the podium? I didn't even know.
Yeah. Why you make that voice though?
Tell me.
I
mean, I guess that's the national man voice. You just dumb dinner, motherfucker. Like somebody asked you something. You a grown man. I don't know. I was going to ask y'all. Y'all got any ideas? What happened? Shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, how you don't know as a man what the hell going on? Not everything. You won't know everything. Yeah. But I think it's an instinct in parents that make you, and then it's like, what is considered spying? Because don't get me wrong, I don't crawl from the ceiling and wait till the lights are out. You know what I mean?
What's wrong with that?
By the door,
but I damn sure.
What's wrong with that?
What do you say? You say what's wrong with that?
I've been known to hide under a bed for a few hours.
Oh, no good.
Waiting to gather reconnaissance and intelligence.
Because you come from under that bed, and if they train right, they going to beat you, man.
No, you just provide a lot of liquid refreshment, so they going to get up eventually.
You trying to traumatize me. Never going to sleep.
Absolutely.
Hey, man, it might be a motherfucker.
It's not my problem. It's not my problem. My problem is making sure you don't F up.
There you go. I got you.
And they don't cost me. Kelly Green. Give me some spying techniques. Give me what you think is too far or what is not far enough.
Well, of course you would want the social media. Social media.
Kelly Green was oblivious to this at one point.
What?
I had to point out to Kelly Green, Lil Drip, when she was very, very tender age, had an Instagram. And she came out there and she was like, first, let me hop out the motherfucking porch. And she wrote it out. Kelly Green. I was like, Kelly Green, Lil Drip cussing. No, she wasn't. No, of course not.
Hold up. Whoa, did you just snitch on her though?
I already snitched on her.
No, she typed it up.
Word, though.
Yeah. It
Fucker.
was lyrics to the song. So I didn't get upset.
Hey, but here's the funny part.
But I did see it.
Yeah.
Here's the funny part. She saw it prior to me discussing it with her.
Yeah.
She had no problem with it. But here's the funny part. So Lil Drip was playing a game at that same time. I had a little friend over.
Yeah.
And she was just playing a game. And then something happened. She was like, this fucking game.
I ain't gonna lie to me and the white, them the funniest moments. Like
we busted out laughing.
What it is, they be in their rooms. But these days they don't build houses out of shit. The walls are thin. So
I hear everything.
Boy, they
I have a
be
stethoscope.
90 going north, but it don't be the type of cussing like you to cuss in front of grandma, made her mad, and embarrassed in front of the pastor.
They actually don't know how to put the words together properly.
Man, that should be hilarious.
They don't fucking ass care.
I don't, man. That's crazy. You should have a problem with a few cuss words, but
not these days.
What you were saying is, as far as the methods of spying,
you want to be aware of all social media.
Correct.
You want to be aware of all friends and their friends' parents.
You go through their book bag.
I don't go through the book bag. And
no, I don't go through their book bag either.
And you said that with that hood on, dude. I ain't gonna go to sleep right tonight. I'm gonna keep checking my closet and everything, dude.
I'm auditioning for Candyman.
You like the dude that be in the parking lot.
Candyman low-key scary.
You like the dude be in the dark parking lot asking for change.
Scared
when
me
they
about.
Say no, you keep walking toward them like,
scared
man,
me about
Candyman
was that processed Philly. That joint, that joint was Duke. Yeah, that was his hair still good. Fade was tight, but you dead. When you die, the first thing is going is your fade.
Me personally, I don't have a problem with that. I think if more parents were aware,
hell yeah,
you probably wouldn't have as many mass school shootings.
You wouldn't have as many
parents
a lot of
spying and realizing why have you been searching how to kill and how to put together guns and ordering gun kits. You'd probably know there were a couple of AKs in your home. You know what I'm saying? I don't even get how the parents aren't the ones serving time as well. Like,
it's going to get there eventually.
He got up this morning, went to school. That book bag had to be big than a motherfucker. Ain't nobody see that chopper hanging on that bag. He done got on the school bus, nigga. I don't make enough.
You know he weird.
I don't make enough of this bullshit.
You know that little kid weird. You know he about to go do something. When he was a toddler, you knew he was an active shooter.
But yeah, I actually encourage. Don't be a creep about it.
I'm gonna be a creep. Shout out to Bear Farmer. Where you been, baby? We missed ya.
What it is, man?
Shout out to Danny. ATA Productions. I see you out there. We see you at Tay Grind. Everybody doing it. We're talking about spying on your chillin'. Is it okay to spy on the chillins?
Absolutely.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm gonna used to kick my door open for no reason. Didn't want me. Just what are you doing?
Yeah.
I think parents kick your door open when you're a teenager to see if you masturbate first.
Yeah, because they know boys.
Get that damn headlight look.
I ain't gonna lie. We nasty.
I don't know what happened.
Damn, so, hey, look, hold up. I don't even want to answer because I really don't give a fuck.
Okay.
I was wondering, I know, being a real boy, or man, or maybe I shouldn't say real because I don't want no shit, but I know being a man, or as a boy, you'd be like, yeah, I like, you know what I'm saying, naked girls or collars and this, that, and the other. So, yeah. But, what happens if you a dude that like how do they go about? You know what I mean? Yeah, no.
They watch wrestling.
Look at them men's.
Oh, okay.
I know what a girl would do,
Mm-hmm.
even if she's 14, 15, trying to explore her body for the first time. I know what a girl would do. You know what I'm saying? I know what a guy would do. I'm a guy. I've been with a woman, so I can imagine you would follow the same steps if you were young and trying to figure out what did that feel like, or what are these, or you know what I'm saying? So
You put a cantaloupe in the microwave.
that's where I get my.
What happens, happens.
No, you just don't let it in your radiator.
Yeah,
Anyway, you know what's
You know.
happening is I'm trying to figure out what happens when that child likes the other sex.
You put Play-Doh in a Mickey
How
bottle.
do they come about puberty or feelings, or you know what I mean?
Like anybody else.
Because naturally, when you
If you feel that way for a woman, or you feel that way for you're surrounded by the opposite sex
Okay,
or the
okay.
same sex at all times. So
That's now.
same things will go on. If somebody is around, if you're a guy that likes guys, then when you're coming up, you're mostly around guys.
No
Girls
doubt.
don't really hang with y'all.
Shout out to Donetta, my cousin. She say she likes spying on her daughter.
Damn
and
right.
It's important because you don't want them to be easily influenced by their peers.
Yes.
So when they on these games and they on these iPhones together, their friends will tell them, I did it. My
You
mother let me
contending
do
with a
it.
lot more.
Da,
You
da, 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 da.
used to
It's
contend
cool.
with 2 or 3 friends. Now you contend with like hundreds.
Yeah.
And they
So-
all live in these personas online. And you don't know who they really are.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
hell yeah, spy on them.
Get all in there.
Fuck, man.
Get all
Hey,
in.
get
Just
you a
manu-
box.
And this is what you do. You
Costumes.
manufacture an argument out of nowhere to grab their phone. And just go through it. Just manufacture.
I don't even do that. I just ask for the phone.
Of course. And you should have that
I,
relationship.
like I told you, I'm old school. Who pay that bill?
Yes, my
Shit,
phone.
you have
Give it
phone.
up. Everything mine here. You don't got shit in here but 2
Suck your
pencils.
teeth all you want. I'm going in that phone.
Keep sucking them teeth. You're going to be able to suck them and
You
take
know
them
what
out
I
and put
mean?
them on a dresser.
But I think my kids know they daddy crazy. Like, nah, we good, because he gonna fuck around and kill
But if your
you.
communication
Yeah.
is open too,
Yeah.
you're able to avoid a lot of those things.
I say that joke.
Time and attention is everything.
Absolutely.
It's everything.
Well, I live with mine.
Yeah.
I mean, like mine.
Yeah,
see
time
me
and attention
all
is
the time.
is the whole thing about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then they not only do they know you, then they can follow you.
Yeah.
They
Right.
naturally pick up
Yeah.
the things you want them to pick up, as long as you're
Oh,
you're
then my
positive.
son gonna treat a woman well.
Mm.
Then I mean,
He's also used to getting beat up by girls because your daughters probably jump him all the time.
Skirt.
So-
Nah, that's the crazy thing, right? Because he got 2 older sisters, he's allowed to kind of
Hit 'em back
They
a
mess
little.
with him so he can fight them back. So he's tough because of that.
Okay.
But he
Good.
doesn't like take beatings because naturally he's the only brother and he's a little red dude. So they want him to be.
Yeah, they can't hit him up so much because he'll be pink.
Right.
And
That's my baby. She like, he time enough for everybody.
yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, she ain't scared of nothing, Jack.
Because everybody protect her.
Yeah,
If
she
the
ain't
oldest
scared
got a
of
problem
mama.
with her, the 2 next oldest gonna protect her.
Yeah.
If the 2 next oldest got a problem with her, the oldest gonna protect her. It's just
And I
no one's
come
gonna
back.
get at her. Kelly Green, the youngest, no one got at her.
Shout out, my wife say, because we communicate through that.
Mhm.
Through that. You said that about a couple of shows ago.
That was it.
Communication, absolutely.
You're gonna have times when you're upset with each other.
Mm.
You gonna have times when you walk around with attitude.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that. I get attitude too long. I
We
learned
gotta
from my
We
mother.
gotta call in number though, right?
I think we do.
All right, because the wife want to call in. Think she
Okay.
got something to say. Or Miss Nicole Pete, shall I say?
Tell her give us after the break.
Give us
When we
a
get to the
break.
relationships,
I'm gonna get that
Then we'll have
to
to because we'll have to adjust some of the social media situations. We want everybody to hear everything.
Oh, okay. All right. Got you.
Yeah.
And yes,
Everybody to hear everything.
that's
But
what-
I don't see that's a problem. I don't see it, and that's all. I guess that's all. Like Kelly Green says, all about open communication, right, Kelly?
Yeah, I communicate with my kids very well, and I even go into their domain. I'll sit in their room and chill with them and talk to them, and just have normal conversations with them.
Mhm.
Sometimes it helps me,
Mhm.
and they build that bond, build that trust,
Mhm.
and they're able to talk to you about certain things that. So, like, people couldn't talk to their parents. I have that open line of communication with my kids.
I got you.
So I don't have to spy. And you know that and it's a level
so
of
if you
trust.
feel some kind of way, you can literally ask them.
She was. We'll
Uh-huh.
address the situation if we feel a certain type of way. It's not
straight. Come to me. Tell me what's what.
I think we're part lucky in that respect,
Yeah.
and it was part, the time we put in.
I mean, both of you can do that the same thing. See, in my house, it works like we work in a dynamic to where she's goofy with them at the dinner
there's
table.
certain things. Now, of course, there's
So she
lady
hears
things.
what she hears, and then she relays it to Dad
Right.
because Dad, one of them, depending on how you say what you say, if I don't understand, I'm like,
Well, lady things go to mom.
Yeah.
You give me the edited version.
Yeah.
Made to keep my lunch down.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will say that.
Oh, yeah,
and we will let that say as it's
said.
said.
Mom and their mama talk to me.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
mine talk to me about certain stuff, but it ain't no. Yeah.
But you that would be your goal though, to have that open where they can come to you and talk to you. Like I have that with my oldest son. He'll call me and we'll just talk.
They just know I'm super dad.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's a whole page dedicated.
They will call me
to
from school.
Superhuman fathering ability.
I'm telling you, they call me from school awesome. Dad, I'm hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, so what? I'm gonna just bring you something up there.
Oh, Lil Drip do that to me too. That's all of them.
All of them.
Hey, what you doing? Working.
Where the fuck
Can you
leave
order me
work?
some
Where was that option when
DoorDash?
we was in school? Man, let me go. Hey, Mom, go ahead and send me a Big Mac fries up here, man. We'll take care of that.
That Big Mac was a 2-piece. Bop, bop. Here you go. I got your 10-piece too. Bop. You gonna call me on my job?
Yeah,
You know how them white people look at me?
Sit down and eat that jail tray.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, you better try to go. Mom, still trying to cut this cheese.
You never
it's
noticed
hard.
that?
Use
Jail
the salt.
trays look like thick cafeteria trays.
Yes, they do.
So I've heard.
And they hurt. They hurt. They hit you across your head and make you hurt. But that's if you can get that relationship, it's hard because a lot of times, and it's a cycles. There's times they don't want to talk to you. They don't want nothing to say to you.
Yeah.
They don't want nothing to do with you. They just want to be on their own.
Well, I guess opening up that line of communication early is important then. Like,
Yeah.
I think if you already set the precedent, you know what I mean, to where it's, we've been doing this since you've been 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
So you kind of, you wouldn't even break that more. You'd be so, I think the kid will be so used to, like I said, with Nick, for years, they always sat at the table. Even if I want to go in there and watch the game or I'm not ready to eat, they're always with the mom. So it's like, I don't think dinner would be dinner
without that demographic.
You feel me? Like, they would almost be like, Mom, you not eating with us? Or, you know what I'm saying? Now, of course, on occasions or whatever, they make sure they come. Dad, you coming down? But, you know what I'm saying? So, but it started early, is what I'm saying. So it's already kind of.
What's weird about our generation compared to, with doing that, is it was split. You had some people of our generation that had that open relationship with their parents, like Kelly Green. She had a very open relationship with her parents. While she didn't share everything, from our conversation, she shared a lot. Yeah. Where mine was more closed. It was do as I say, not as I do. Don't give me no hassle. You know what I mean? Let me get through this day and do whatever. So there were some parents that didn't really teach you. They just taught you how to be a child. And never taught you how to be an adult.
My father was in, my mother was out, I was in the streets.
Sometimes you learn that way.
OGs and all that type of,
Yeah. And that's hard because you have to disseminate that information to how it values. The street is going to show you how to conduct you and survive in the street and conduct yourself in a manner that's going to keep you safe in the street. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Fuck all that kingpin and being a gangster and all that. It's all kept and predicated to keep you alive for another 24 hours. But then when you have those particular skill set, that doesn't transfer over to the regular world. Doesn't transfer over to business, doesn't transfer over to jobs. You see what I'm saying? So it's when you're open, you kind of, the child has a chance to view you not only for your strengths, but for your weaknesses. And I think a lot of parents don't want to show the children their weakness. They always want to have that position of authority that comes with being a parent. And that's not beneficial to the child. because that's not life. You know, just like giving them. I was guilty of being an extra Mr. Rogers dad and, you know, all that kind of stuff. That's not good either because you're not preparing for the negative side of life. So they got to see it all. They got to see the whole picture. And I think that opens it up.
Well, mine has seen me like, I mean, it's been time I've been in like, let's say pain from like just sick or hurting.
Mm-hmm.
So they have seen like tears come out my eyes. So they, even though they understand.
Speaking of
my
that.
dad could almost do anything. They seen that. Look,
Sneaky P, I got a question for you.
What's that?
And then we're going to jump Kelly Green with this vocally, figuratively, not literally.
I knew what you meant.
With this question. So Kelly Green and I was having a discussion, okay? So Kelly Green is a wonderful partner, okay? But she's not the most empathetic when it comes to being under the weather or being in pain.
Yeah.
As me being a male, it's like, all right, man, to F up. You know what I mean?
Where you go.
Right. Drill sergeant. Okay? And we had a discussion on this. We never finished the discussion, but you know, we left the discussion with, you know, she needs more empathy in her life. Do you, when you're sick or tears coming out, pain, do you find that that's the attitude that's thrusted towards you? Maybe subtly, maybe not so subtly. Man up kind of thing, where you don't kind of get that kind of sickness, but they get to get a Snicker bar and something soft. And then leave me alone, let me sleep and all this. But, you know, we like, all right, yeah, your foot fell off. All right, you got another one. Gas out there and go pick me up some Lito's Pizza. Why are you still here, Sneaky P?
What's that again?
Tell me, come on, the brothers are listening because I know we're not the only brothers that deal with that.
Nah, but...
Do you turn into a big baby when you get sick?
Nah, honestly, I'm one of them, you know what I'm saying? You get them couple of guys that you just got that man jink. You wouldn't tell even if you was in pain. You dig what I'm saying? And the only time, you dig what I'm saying, it will get to the point where she had to show sympathy is because it will be her idea for me to get up. Like she would see me fighting it, and it wouldn't be fighting it like, babe, I can't, I'm good. It would be fighting it like, nah, girl, go ahead, I'm good. Like, I would actually be refusing help. Mm-hmm. And it would get to the point where she'd be like, no, wait a minute, nigga, now you can't get up and walk. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You toughen it out, and I'm going to let you tough it out. We got a different dynamic, because she know I'm, like I said, I don't know now, and I don't have nothing against the guy that wants to go see the doctor every 6 months and do the right thing. I'm just one of them guys where I'll damn near have a bullet wound and be like, nah, babe, I'm good. Go ahead, feed the kid. That's just
Go ahead,
me.
Kelly Green. You itching to say something?
I'm just saying it's hard for me to answer that one.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kelly Green.
Okay, cool. Because that's how my dad was. I've never seen my dad sick. Mm-hmm. Never.
Men get sick. You figure if you have a little boy,
he never turned
he's
into
essentially
a big baby.
guy, and he, you know.
And my contention was that her father did get sick. She just didn't see it.
Exactly.
But her mother probably saw it.
All right, I'm gonna ask my mom.
Because that's what you're
really
there for.
Going on is, was you laying up like, and just can't.
Damn right.
Can you give me some, please?
See, that's some bullshit. No, you know why?
I got it, baby.
Oh, no, because he'll let you go get it. That's not going to solve shit. That's not going to solve a damn thing.
So you grunt, she like, you need attention.
Yeah. Nah, right? she just,
Yeah.
Wow. No, and Kelly Green is a me too. Okay, she's a hashtag me too. I'd be like, man, my back hurt. Me too. You know, she said she got her excuse set up immediately.
My back.
Oh man, I hurt my knee. Wow, yeah, that my knee and my foot. You know, I got malaria. I got the plague. She just gonna one up you. So don't ask her for nothing.
Now I've spoken to you before about I think shit should be equal. So don't get me wrong, men do have pain.
Damn right.
Like, and there are some men. I mean, don't get me wrong. The wrong toothache will draw tears from my eyes, and I'm not necessarily a girl, quote unquote, as some would see you crying like a girl. No, it's you take this pain. See if you don't be running up the street crying. So I get where you coming from. Some men.
Bear Farmer said, "Leave me alone. I'm in pain." She like to be alone with her pain.
But I mean, that's a woman.
She got a heavy bag in the back.
There you go. That's
women have that. They got a heavy
different
bag.
Emotions. They want to be alone until they need some ice cream or something.
Yeah, nah, it's not always that, but sometimes you want somebody to take care of you.
Women crazy. They tell you get out, and then as soon as you get out, so you just gonna leave out?
Yeah, exactly.
What the fuck?
I don't know what to do. Just tell me what to do. You should already know.
Baby, I'm gonna go drink some antifreeze and shoot myself. And,
yeah.
You know, if there's anything left, I got you.
Oh, he think he's slick. You ain't getting
If I'm still living, I guess I'll do it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that is a situation out there where women have this kind of thing. A lot of women, you know, they say it's men has toxic masculinity, but I think women have toxically masculine views on certain things men should do.
No, a lot of men turned into suckers, so it made a lot of women.
But that doesn't, because you show weakness in front of your lady, that doesn't mean you're a sucker.
About that kind of sucker.
Oh, you talking about? Well, that's not necessarily a sucker. I'm sorry, I have said it before that you do a lot of things that I can't do, so I can't call you a sucker. Your pain tolerance is way higher than the average man. So, you know.
If you're a guy and you put something in your mouth besides food or blunt or a drink,
that is your personal
you
choice.
Are a sucker.
No, that is your personal choice.
You are.
That is a personal choice. Sneaky P's views do not represent the views of Impulse Internet Radio, and they do not express the views of Blueprint Media Group / Blueprint Radio Podcast.
Now, what's going to happen, he going to look at the show later, and then he going to get the joke. Oh, because you a guy.
I already got the choice, sir. We are in a society now where this will come back in 8 years.
You're non-sucker. Sorry. You're vampires.
Okay. Hey, any young PR agents, let us sign you and retain you now, because Sneaky P is going to need you in like 6 years.
Man.
When they're trying to give him his own ESPN show.
Oh, man.
And they're like,
Jesse
we found this show from 2020.
And be chasing me and shit,
hitting you with a purse.
What you say?
Twitter.
What you mean?
You know what I mean? They know what they're doing out there, baby. They know what they're doing. But the question becomes...
I'm just joking, man.
Yeah, we know you mess around. But really, that's an interesting, really view on things. Kelly Green, would you agree? Kelly Green is lost, yeah.
I'm still stuck on vampires.
I know, because we was having fun, right?
Yeah.
I was going to keep on going.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I was hoping y'all would tell me.
Taxes, Census Bureau rates.
Well, actually.
You said that if your back hurt, then my back hurt. And
exactly.
all that stuff.
Exactly. There is a. It's not fair.
It is, because women go through a lot of stuff. We take care of a lot of stuff. And I know. Hear me out. But when I get sick, I still gotta do stuff. I do. When you get sick, and it's like.
Well, this has been the last episode of Blueprint Radio Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be coming back next week with the single files.
What's up, baby?
First of all, it's not it's
put a little bass in it.
A little dying. Yeah.
And then you have the whole room smelling like sick, and then you gotta spray.
That's my fault. Now
off,
that's my fault. I can intentionally make it smell like sick when I'm sick. How dare I, Sneaky B? Right? How dare sickness emanate from my pores?
You had a choice to make it smell sterile.
It could have smelled like Cinnabon, but I chose for it to smell sick. Is what I chose to do here.
Thirsty.
You know.
Can you get me a fizzy bubbly, and how about a leg of lamb?
Not a fizzy bubbly though.
It's like
cooked well, medium, rare.
No, a fizzy bubbly.
That
is a seltzer water.
Bubbly.
Yeah. A bubbly. I like that.
Bubbly. You know what I'm saying? Just because it's from the hood, don't mean I don't know if you
I'm a LaCroix man. I'm a LaCroix.
Exactly.
All right.
LaCroix man. I like LaCroix. Bubbly, it's a little medicine-y for me. I like LaCroix.
Shout out to Danielle. She say, right, men think she agrees. She say, men think it's the end of the world.
It is the end of the world, Danielle.
That was my guy.
It is the end of the world. It feels like, but what you don't understand, young sister, is what the black man goes out here and deals with on a daily basis.
Hallelujah.
And it fills his heart and his soul with condemnation. But he still finds a way to walk tall every day and go out there and work and protect his family. Knick-knack, paddywhack.
Oh, man. We having too much fun, boy. I'm telling you.
Oh, my goodness.
But it's true. I think you should be allowed to have a moment of weakness. So we got to be tough all the damn time?
Yeah.
Where am I going to be weak? In traffic?
And I get you because it's not like it's not like, you know what I'm saying, you showed the kids that it was like, okay, I'm in the privacy of the bedroom, this is my wife. She'll probably be the only one that sees this.
But the only kids that see it is when she leaves me there to die. And I need the kid to come over and help me. So I call Lil Drip. Lil Drip, come take care of that.
Yeah. Quivering it.
And she'll do that. She'll go get him his suit.
What's up, Jan?
And what she don't know is while she's sitting there, sitting next to me, watching TV, chilling, Lil Drip look at her on the slide, watching her look and be like, and then walk away. Just look at you could have taken care of him.
Drip will be a cold gangster.
Right.
I ain't never learned. You all right.
No bull. Well, it's weird because she
back.
has a sensitive side like that, but then the ghost of Kelly Green would kick in. Fuck that nigga, he all right. You like, hey, Kelly Green. We are back there, father.
What? We deal with more men think paying bills. That's it. We give birth, get kids ready for whatever, clean the house.
Shit.
We cook. Oh, and it say see more. God.
First of all, I'm gonna put
pay bills.
I'm gonna put a plot hole in that theory. You ever paid a bill and the Georgia just came out, and you paid that bill? Yeah. Whatever. That's pain. That's worse than childbirth.
That's it. Yeah.
No, the 11s came out, and I had to go pay the water bill.
I had to get them.
Yeah.
Yet.
And I could have got the 11s, but I paid a water bill so you could wash your ass. Man, please.
Ain't shit we do, family.
Kelly Green looking at me like,
Shout
I'm about to stab you under the table. And that's what's happening.
I mean, there are men that take that same role, too. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, they can still, they don't necessarily have to be feminine. There are men that like, you know, real men. They feed their kids in the morning. They take care of them. They you know what I'm saying? They involved with doctor's appointments and the same things that women would do. They are male chefs.
If I'm sick, you going to baby me. Hell with that. For me, I get that from just driving everywhere. When I got to drive everywhere.
She say, hell nah, y'all ain't getting no Jordans.
And we ain't getting no dinner neither,
ain't nobody getting no new bags, no Gucci, no pumps, no none of that.
Yeah, no drawers.
I've been working hard. I deserve something nice.
Go to the Goodwill.
What the fuck is we?
Yeah, exactly. Go to the Goodwill.
A selective few.
They got drawers in a Ziploc bag at the Goodwill. You fine. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. You want it like the 50s? We're going to take it all the way back to the 50s. We didn't have to buy you nothing. Everything was baking soda.
Over the days, wasn't it? And they was happy to get your plate ready when you got home.
Yeah, but you also paid every single bill. You set up the retirement. You got the kids to college. You did all of that. And you mowed the lawn still. So, yeah, them 50s dudes.
Well, we done got lazy then. Because I'm going to tell you right now, all that shit you just named sound like
and we are of an ethnic variety. So we was sharecropping. So we was picking cotton. We had on some overalls. Yeah. We had to go moonshine. Yeah. So it was even worse.
They had socks and
that story I said before was for white people at Leave It to Beaver.
Oh, so this was our rendition.
Our rendition was, you know what I'm saying, Detroit, 1926. That was our rendition.
Shout that out. I think that's like most women. She said she pamper her damn self.
But that's okay. But it's just like what we talk about with relationships. And when we had that challenge a few weeks ago where it's like challenge yourself to just do something great for your significant other. Try to compete by doing nice stuff for each other. You know, it's the same thing. Try to compete. And I understand with Kelly Green because I can admit it. You know that when I'm sick, oh yeah, all the way, wham, nigga, wham. You know what I mean? I can admit that. I'm fine with admitting that. Hey, this is what it is. Yeah. You know, you want to attack me, catch me after the flu.
That's the only time.
Or if I have a really bad injury, then yes, like my knee, for instance, is out. I don't feel like going up and downstairs. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get Kelly Green, trick bagger. Hey, you going downstairs? She'll turn it right. Nope. Go sit right back down.
Or go into Khalil's room.
But we shouldn't have a problem pampering each other. And we shouldn't have a problem being empathetic to each other. If that's what you need at that moment in time, in space, to be vulnerable, and you just need someone to just be there, there's nothing wrong with that. What's it costing you, really? What's it costing you?
My time.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
I
fine.
think you said earlier, you know how many deals are online I could be shopping for right now? I think she's still there with it. Like,
it starts as a joke and becomes reality. That's the sad part. It starts as a joke and becomes reality. I think what we got to do is, we were having a conversation earlier, and it was about sometimes we fight for our habits. You know what I mean? We fight for our habits, and sometimes we don't look beyond the surface towards what our mate is going through. You know what I mean? Sometimes we're just looking at it on the surface, like, oh, they just got an attitude with me. Instead of going a little further, well, this person loves me. Why did they get an attitude? Let me look a little further into it. We sometimes we get into that tit for tat too much. Like, I'm gonna do it to you for you, and then it becomes I'm gonna do it to you before you do it to me. So I think sometimes we have to just lay it on the line and be what somebody needs us to be at that time. Whether it's they need you to be supportive, whether they need you to as a shoulder, that we forget that part of the relationship because we get so far into our everyday mundane lives, paying bills, going to the doctor, cleaning, working, the whole 9 yards. You forget that part is needed. Just you might need that after a hard work week. You know what I mean? And it creates a whole nother issue if I can't get that from you. I can see if I'm asking you for $10,000. I'm asking you for just a little love and tenderness. That's all I'm asking for. That's what I need now. They wrote songs about that in the 70s. And we need to do that for each other. Sneaky P did the big wiggle. Came right here, the big wiggle, Sneaky P. The big wiggle, the gyration. Don't tell nobody.
Just a little bit.
But we do, in a sense, we do. We have to start really being everything for each other. Because that's all we really got in the end. I was looking at a couple yesterday, man. I was parked in front of BJ's in Laurel. And I was just watching. It must have been Senior Citizen Day. But I watched all these old-ass couples come out.
They probably couldn't stand each other, right?
Holding each other's hand. Now, some of them were holding each other up.
Because they had to.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But when you look at that, that's what it ends up like. Your kids gone doing their thing. The grandkids ain't coming till they want your furniture in your car. It's just you and your other person. Eventually, all this shit is stripped away. All the stuff that takes precedent. Whether it's going out or whether it's sports or whether it's drinking or smoking or whatever. All that stuff gets stripped away, and all that's left is you and that person.
Danielle also had another comment. Nowadays, it's what one or the other can do for you instead of knowing the person you with mentally. Like, it's more about what can you do for me.
Your wallet got you in the door.
Versus, you know what I'm saying, knowing the actual person you with and what makes them tick or feel that way.
And then why that problem is because you made a lot of decisions that weren't conducive to what you really needed in the long run. You made short-term decisions that had long-term consequences. You know what I mean? And so now you got kids. You might not have finished school because you thought you can go back. You might not have really followed your career or been able to because you couldn't put the time and energy into your work because you had to go to daycare and raise children by yourself. And now you don't have a choice. So sometimes it's what we do in the past affects what we do in the future. And we have to say, well, look, what is more important to me? Paying the bills for tomorrow or setting up my life for 20 and 30 years down the road? That tomorrow thinking is what got you in your current situation. So you got to change that thinking so you won't keep on repeating history. Yeah. Because you got to like the person you with, man. I generally like being with this knucklehead over here. And we get on each other's nerves, but I generally like being with her. When she ain't here, I got an attitude. Occasionally she spends the night out. I don't know where she goes. Then she goes see her parents. So when she goes to your parents, I'm the biggest. Hey, what you doing?
That's what they call their boyfriend house name.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm kidding.
Yeah, the parents' house. I'm gonna see my parents.
You hot.
Hey, come on, Sneaky, what you doing? Nigga, help me. help
me.
Me.
Bang,
Over
bang.
here. She give you the help me
Bang,
look.
bang.
Bang, bang. What happened?
No.
Oh.
No, maybe
Yeah, that just finished up on its own. Did what it had to do. We had 2 simultaneous casts going. But yeah, that's a real situation.
Make sure we get that call out number going.
Yeah, we're gonna get that going.
Want to make comments and say something.
Kelly Green, yeah, hand me that right there, please. Thank you kindly.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you kindly.
I thought she would take the phone off.
I thought she was too.
Oh, I didn't want to.
No,
But it was okay.
We just went through that. Here, man, take the goddamn phone. He needs your help. Take the phone off.
Damn phone. I don't understand what's popping.
Shout that out. She say that's called trusting who you with. Per what you was just saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And trusting yourself. When it's all said and done. But the call out number or call in number is 301-557-0171. 301
Yeah.
557-0171. Call in. Talk some trash to us. Tell us what you feel.
Yep.
Be respectful.
Yep.
Because I got caller ID.